Welcome back to Be Inspired from Life. There comes a moment in everyone's life when you look in the mirror and wonder, is this all there is? When you feel the weight of time pressing down on you and a small voice inside whispers, maybe it's too late. But let me tell you something today, that voice is lying to you. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to rebuild, to restart, to rediscover who you truly are, because as long as you're breathing, God is not done with you. Some people think that when they reach 50, life begins to slow down. But the truth is, life begins to make sense. After 50, you're not running after noise anymore. You've learned what matters: peace, purpose, love, and meaning. And now, this is your time to reinvent yourself. Not because you have to, but because you deserve to. 1. AG is not your enemy. Fear is. The world will try to convince you that you're too old. Too old to learn new skills, too old to chase a dream, too old to make a difference. But that's the lie that keeps people stuck in the same place for decades. You see, age isn't the enemy, fear is. Fear whispers, what if you fail? Faith replies, what if you fly? At 50, you've already survived storms that could have broken you. You've lost people, you've been betrayed, you've been broke, you've cried in silence. But through all that pain, you didn't quit, you endured. And that endurance gave you something priceless: wisdom. Now it's time to use that wisdom to recreate your life. To shape it according to the person you've become, not the person you used to be. 2. Life is about reinvention. Life has seasons. When you were 20, it was about discovery. At 30, it was about responsibility. At 40, you questioned everything. But after 50, life becomes about meaning. Reinvention is not about throwing away your past. It's about refining your purpose. When you were young, you built a career. Now, you build character. When you were young, you chased success. Now, you chase significance. You begin to understand that happiness doesn't come from things, it comes from peace. And peace only arrives when you start living in alignment with your truth. Let me tell you, you can be 55 and start a business. You can be 60 and write your first book. You can be 65 and finally travel the world. You can be 70 and mentor a young soul who needs your guidance. It's not about how old you are, it's about how alive you are. 3 stories that prove it's never too late. Let's look at a few examples. Ray Kroc, who built McDonald's into a global empire, started in his 50 seconds. Before that, he was selling milkshake machines door to door. He had every reason to give up, but he didn't. Vera Wang didn't design her first wedding dress until she was 40. Grandma Moses, one of America's most famous painters, started painting in her 70 seconds. Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa at 75. These people didn't let age define them. They let purpose guide them. And here's what's powerful. They all started over when the world thought they were finished. So if they can do it, why not you? What's stopping you from writing your next chapter? 4. You're not too old, you're just getting started. Let me say this clearly. You're not too old to start again, you're too experienced to fail the same way twice. Think about that. When you're young, you make decisions out of excitement. When you're older, you make decisions out of wisdom. That's your advantage. Maybe you spent 30 years working for others, raising children, or chasing stability. Now, it's time to chase your purpose. You've spent your life building others, now it's time to build yourself. The world doesn't belong to the young, it belongs to the willing. And if you still have that spark inside you, if you still wake up with a thought like, I can do more, then it's your sign God is not done with you yet. 5. The battle is mental. Reinvention doesn't start with money. It doesn't start with connections. It starts with your mindset. The greatest prison many people live in after 50 is not physical, it's mental. It's the belief that your best years are behind you, but your best years are not behind you. They're ahead if you choose to see them that way. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, I'm not done, I'm still becoming. The mind is powerful. If you believe you're old, your energy follows that belief. If you believe you're renewed, your spirit wakes up again. Remember, you don't stop living when you grow old. You grow old when you stop living. 6. What stops most people after 50? Let's be real for a moment. Most people after 50 stop growing because they choose comfort over challenge. They say things like, I'm too old to start again. I don't have the energy. I've already tried before. but that comfort zone slowly becomes a coffin for their dreams. You might be breathing, but you're not alive. Comfort keeps you where you are. Growth happens only when you get uncomfortable again. When you were young, you took risks, you tried new things, you fell, you failed, and you learned. That's how you grew. So why stop now? You may not move as fast as you did before, but wisdom lets you move smarter. Remember, you don't need to compete with anyone anymore. You just need to improve yourself every single day. 7. The God factor. Let me take you deeper for a second. When you walk with God, you walk in purpose, not in panic. The world may count your years, but God counts your impact. Moses was 80 when God called him to lead. Abraham was 75 when God promised him a new beginning. Sarah gave birth in her old age. When God has a plan for you, He doesn't check your age, He checks your willingness. So if you still have that dream burning in your heart, that's not random, that's divine timing. Maybe God kept you hidden all these years so you could shine when you're ready. Maybe the pain you went through wasn't punishment, it was preparation. So now, instead of asking, why me? Start saying, use me. Because when you say yes to God, your life begins to move in ways you never imagined. 8 practical ways to reinvent yourself. Now let's get practical. How do you reinvent yourself after 51? Reevaluate your life. Sit quietly with yourself. Ask, what makes me truly happy now? What do I want the next 10 years to look like? Your answers will guide your new direction. 2. Let go of the past. Stop replaying what went wrong. You can't heal by holding on to who you used to be. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Move forward with a lighter heart. 3. Keep learning, read books, take courses, learn new technology. Your brain stays young when you keep feeding it knowledge. Remember, curiosity keeps you alive. 4. Invest in your health, your body is your engine. Exercise, eat better, walk, stretch. Take care of yourself like you take care of those you love. 5. Surround yourself with positive energy. Cut off negative voices, even if they're family. You don't need people who remind you of your limits. Stay close to those who remind you of your potential. 6. Serve others. The secret to fulfillment after 50 is giving. Mentor someone. Volunteer. Teach. Share your wisdom. Because legacy isn't what you leave times for times people. It's what you leave times in times people. 7. Dream again. Yes, dream. Dream without fear of failure. Write down everything you've ever wanted to do, then take one small step toward it every day, because small steps lead to big transformations. 9. Ampere's true story of reinvention. I once met a man named John. At 58, he lost his job after 30 years in the same company. He was devastated. His savings were gone, his confidence shattered. For months, he sat at home in silence. Then one morning, his daughter told him, "Dad, you always made the best bread. Why don't you sell it?" John laughed. Who's gonna buy bread from a 60-year-old man? But she insisted, so he started baking from his kitchen. He sold to neighbors, then to local stores. Within 2 years, John had a small bakery with 4 employees. At 65, he had more joy, more peace, and more freedom than ever before. He told me something I'll never forget. Losing that job was God's way of pushing me toward my real purpose. See, sometimes rejection is redirection. Sometimes what you thought was the end is just the beginning. 10. The beauty of growing older. There's something beautiful about getting older. You stop pretending, you stop rushing, you stop explaining yourself, you stop trying to fit in. You learn to love silence, to appreciate peace, to cherish people who truly care. You realize that less is more. Fewer friends, fewer wants, but a fuller heart. And that's when you start to understand that your value never decreases. With age, it increases with wisdom. Because life isn't about how long you live. It's about how deeply you live. 11. What reinvention gives you. When you reinvent yourself after 50, something powerful happens. You rediscover your strength. You reconnect with your purpose. You reignite your faith. And suddenly, every day starts to feel like a new beginning, not a countdown. You smile more, you sleep better, you walk lighter, because you finally understand that the best investment you can make is in yourself. 12. Challenge to the audience. So let me challenge you today. Take one step, just one. If there's something you've been putting off because you think, it's too late, start now. Open that laptop, write that book, enroll in that class. Start that small business. Call that old friend. Visit that place you've always dreamed of. Stop saying, I wish I could. Start saying, I still can. Because you can, and you must. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the person you were meant to become. 13, you are an example. Remember, your journey isn't just for you. There's someone watching you, maybe your child, your grandchild, a friend, or even a stranger, and your courage to start again might be the thing that gives them hope. Be the example. Be the proof that it's never too late to change your life. Show them that failure doesn't mean finished. Show them that age doesn't mean the end. It means evolution.